Last week, I promised you the big expose reveal of how we make these vlogs. But when we came to put it together, it actually really neatly fell into two parts. And this week, we really get under the cover of the thinking behind setting up a vlog, what you need to be considering in terms of your skills, your time, what you want to spend your time doing. And next week, there's another episode where we really get into some of the practical, technical realities of putting it together. So this week is much more of a thinking and exploration. It's me and Philippe walking around Mud Sheep Farm in East London, having a chat about what we've learned over 25 weeks. So the initial hurdle was the kit for me. So it was like, there was quite a lot of complexity with the different pieces that you need. It's quite a specific list. And actually, maybe because we just were going into lockdown and stuff, it was actually really hard to get all the pieces. So we couldn't get the lights, the mics took ages, and then we had the wrong connectors, and then we didn't have dead cats. So all of that was quite an evolution.
Yes.
So that was the first, I think, big hurdle. Remote art direction or production or direction generally is really difficult, because like I would send you something and then you'd go not good enough, you know, like more energy, like, and then that back and forwards takes a really long time, whereas if you're in the room you're like, come on, let's take it up, we can do this, let's go.
What percentage would you say of first takes needed retakes?
Oh, at the beginning it was like everything was 10
needed.
if we were lucky. And then you'd put it out and everyone would go, wow, you're a natural. You're like, oh.
It looks so easy. What came easier than expected?
If you'd have said in advance, fill 20 weeks with content, I would have said, what the heck am I going to talk about?
Yes.
As it was, I actually found there was loads of stuff to talk about. I mean, it was an extraordinary period. It was lockdown. Every week there was a new research report. There was a new big trends piece. So that was much easier than I expected.
But is there something you wish you had mentally known at the start? I mean, we were all kind of figuring it out as we went.
I don't think I processed at the beginning how much time it would take.
Yes.
So I think I needed to learn that over time. And there's a curve with that. So initially the time was huge because we didn't know the heck we were doing. And then actually that gets more efficient as you go. The only times I want to give up is when you get really frustrated, because I find that really contagious.
Yeah.
So when you get really like, oh, and then I'm like, oh God, why are we doing this?
How much time do you think, realistically, seeing this process, does the CEO actually need to, or the leader, whatever, need to dedicate to making the content?
I think it depends on how many people are going to be in the support team. So you've got to decide what the content is, you've got to write it, you've got to record it, you've got to do the set, you've got to edit it.
Yes.
I think if you're clear about what you want to say, it should really be refining the message and a couple of takes, and then everything else should pretty much happen around you.
Yes.
If you have a bureaucratic process of approvals, that's going to be really, really time consuming for somebody, maybe not you. And if you're not sure what you're saying and you're scrambling around for the message, then that's going to be difficult, because you've got to nail that. If
you don't respect the viewer, then in the end, why are you bothering?
And there has to be some tangibility. I mean, I think that's massive. There's got to be stuff in there that people can visualize, that they can get their teeth into, that they know why you're telling it to them. So it isn't just like a big blurb of, you know, these are my intentions, these are my goals, this is some of the stuff I'm thinking about. I think you can't be fragile. Like, there is just no space for fragility actually on either side, because as soon as either of you gets massively sensitive, then it's just like, it's just too emotional. So you've both got to be quite robust, or the team has to be pretty robust. And also, which you're really great at, being willing to call it when it's not right, because there are days when it's late, we're tired, the deadline's looming, because we did set a fixed deadline and we've stuck to it. And it's just like, it would be so easy just to press go on something that's half-hearted.
It is a potent medium. It is the most potent medium, but it also is the most taxing.
Often I've been unaware of the frustrations that you've had with links or setting up things or converting documents or converting files, and you've been unaware perhaps of we've done the 10th shot and now the light's dropped, so now we've got to set up a whole new shot somewhere where there's light. And because if you don't communicate that, both sides are like, oh, why has she sent me a dark shot? And I'm like, why is he in a piss about this fucking document? Why does he care? And so some of that stuff is really invisible unless you're kind of open to sharing it and just being transparent about that.
What is maybe one of the best bits about it from a return on all this investment?
When we started it, it was a bit of an experiment, so we didn't really have a clear goal. What I found, the magic of it was that it just refreshed my connections with looking at my LinkedIn, possibly over 1,000 people that I just hadn't seen recently, or maybe they'd seen me speak and kind of forgotten about it. And they would engage with a piece of content and go, oh, I remember her, she was great. Oh, she came and did a gig for us. Oh, she facilitated something for us. Oh, she did a piece of research for us. So then they get in touch with you and say, you know, can you come and help us with this? Can we call you about that? Could you come and speak on, you know, this event or whatever? So for me, it's just kind of re-energized all of those connections, that kind of bigger network that a lot of people lost during lockdown. So I feel like my network has grown during lockdown when a lot of people's has really shrunk. I hope that's given you some insights into some of the highs and lows and challenges of making a vlog. Next week, we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty, the practicalities of putting it together, and the wider team. I hope you've really enjoyed it. If you know other people who might be interested, do please share it. See you next week.
That's great. That's a B-roll shot right there.
Hey, he thinks we're going to feed him because that's what my kids do when they come here.